Hi, my name is Crystal. I'm making this video as a prelude to my launching up my website. I am launching a website as a support site for women who are going through pregnancy issues and then the postpartum part of it, dealing with postpartum depression, anxiety, baby blues. I just feel like we don't have a support. Women who go through that don't have a support, and I think there needs to be a support, especially in the African American community. Not that I'm targeting that community, I just feel like for me myself, I felt like I was alone when I was going through it. So to give you some background on me and my story and why I feel so strongly about this, I recently, 8 months ago, had a baby. He is what is considered to be a rainbow baby. So they call babies like him rainbow babies because after every storm there is a rainbow. So in the category of having a baby, your storm would be infertility, stillborns, miscarriages, anything that hindered you from having a baby. So we had 2 miscarriages, and then we had our rainbow baby. My first miscarriage, we found out that the baby did not have a heartbeat at 16 weeks. It was kind of a tough blow because at that point I had started like showing you're almost halfway, 20 weeks is halfway. So I was 16 weeks and they told us at that appointment that we would actually be able to see possibly see the gender if he or she was laid the right way. So we got to the appointment and the baby did not have a heartbeat. Now at that time I was on an antidepressant, and the number one side effect for pregnant women was the loss of fetal heartbeat. So we had a reason for that one. The second time it was 6 weeks, and they just said our chromosomes didn't match up, me and my husband. So in New York State, and I'm not sure if this is everywhere, but I know this is for our insurance, you have to have 2 consecutive miscarriages to be able to see a specialist. So after we had the second miscarriage, we went to see a specialist here locally, and he did some testing, make sure our blood types were right, made sure our chromosomes were match up right to our specimen, to make sure my husband could produce, make sure that my eggs could produce. He did testing of the uterus and things like that, just to make sure I wasn't scarred anywhere, anything like that. So all the tests came back normal, which, I mean, it's good, but then at that time it's just like, okay, so why can I get pregnant? Being that I'm a plus size girl, they told me that maybe I should look into losing weight. So, okay, so that's one thing. All right, we can take that. So before we left the appointment, the doctor did give us 2 tasks. One was we had a pill. I can't off the top of my head think of the pill, but it was a pill that once I had my next period, I would start taking the pill, and it was a fertility pill, which meant he had to let us know that if we took it, we would have a chance of having multiples. And then it was a progesterone, and then that was like to almost like seal my uterus once I became pregnant, to keep me pregnant. So we picked those up, we took it home, and we just decided as a couple that we were going to focus on us. We weren't going to stop thinking about having a baby, and we had a vacation coming up because we take a vacation every July, and we were going to focus on getting our bodies together for vacation, just eating right, and just so that we could just have fun and wear as little clothes as we wanted to, because we was going to be having snatched bodies. So we decided not to focus on it, and then I just remember I was like, okay, I went and purchased the medication and stuff like that because I wanted to have it ready for whenever my period came, but then my period never came. So we waited 6 days. I was like, whatever, 7, 8, 9, okay, 10. I was like, let's go take a test. So I went to the store, I took a test, and I was pregnant. So I cried because I was just like, dang it, I don't want to go through this again. Having a miscarriage once is, bad. 2 times is just like, it's like a blow, but then 3 times you feel like, Just like less than, right? So I was just like scared that it was gonna happen again. So I didn't even tell my husband first. I told my mom. I didn't tell him I was going to the store. I was just happened to be home, and I was just like, I just was like, I'm not gonna go to the store. I'm gonna take a test, and if it come back positive, great. If it doesn't, I'll have to tell nobody. So it came back positive. I was scared, but it is what it is. So I still at that time was taking an antidepressant, the same one from before. So I had to like stop it. So I started weaning myself off. My doctor was like, cut back, and then eventually be completely off. So I did that, and I was nervous. Like my whole pregnancy, I felt like I was scared. I was scared that I was gonna lose him. I was scared that people were going to shame me for losing him. Like my husband told people before me, because I just felt like I didn't want to have to tell people that I lost it. So I was scared to tell people, and then like every time I would post something like on Facebook and stuff, I would just be like, I would like pray before I did that. Like I would be like, God, please don't make me look stupid. Like, please don't let me post this up here, and now the world has to know that I lost a baby, And that is not true. You won't look stupid even if you tell people, because the statistic is 1 in 4. 1 in 4 women go through either miscarriage or stillborn or infertility issues. It's like, you don't have to feel like you have to go through all that alone. But at that time, I did. So, like I said, I was a freaking flyer at the doctor's office. I drove the doctor crazy. I would call her for like everything. And then I started noticing like every time I ate, I was like getting like these sweats and dizziness. And then I found out I had gestational. So that was another thing. So then I got testing every week. So I was like kind of happy to have it, but you're not happy to have diabetes. But then I was kind of like, well, this is a free doctor's appointment every week, because I had to get a checkup every week because I had diabetes. So then they induced me a week earlier, and I sit in the hospital for so long because they kept inducing me, and then they would stop, and then they would have to start all over again because there were so many women there getting induced, and they were like, babies were coming quicker than mine. So once my water broke, I couldn't get past 4 centimeters, so they ended up having to do a C-section. And the whole process was very traumatic. After he came out quiet as heck. Like, they smacked him and then he started screaming. The adrenaline that was going through me, like I was shaking, and they were like, oh, you want to hold him? And I was just like, no, like, we haven't been properly introduced. I don't really know him. Maybe he should get dressed first. Like, I don't know. So I was just really not interested in parenting at that point. So they made me do chest to chest, and I was just like, oh, okay. And I was looking at him, and it was just like, I knew who he was, and it was just like, okay, I'm trying to feel this connection with him, but I really couldn't feel it yet. So the hospital now, I guess to keep away from people stealing babies, they don't put the baby in the nursery. So he came in the room the first night, and all the nights he was in the room, and he was driving me crazy because I wanted to get some rest. I had been through a lot. I went through a whole surgery. I had a baby. Like, I don't think that you should be here now. I think that I should get some proper rest, but whatever. He wanted to eat a lot, and I wasn't interested in breastfeeding, but and that's another thing. I feel like I was shamed into breastfeeding. I really didn't want to breastfeed, but I feel like I had to breastfeed because that's what you're supposed to do, and I was just like, I just really didn't want to. But I did that, and around like the day before I was going home, I started to have really, really bad panic attacks, like totally like not my norm, even when I had panic attacks. So I told the doctor about it, and she was just like, oh, your body is shifting, you're going through a lot of changes, you're been through a lot. C-section is a major surgery, so you'll be fine. But then I was just like, I used to be on the antidepressant, and I'm feeling really low right now, and I just don't feel like this is right. So they put me back on an antidepressant, and they set me up to get ready to go home. But I remember walking the nursing station, and I was just like, they really gonna send me home with this baby I don't know? They're not gonna give me a what to do packet, what he's supposed to eat, what time to change him, what does this cry mean versus that cry? Like, I don't know anything about this kid, and y'all really are about to make me responsible for him. Like, there should be like, I had to do way more paperwork to get a loan for a car, a physical thing, than you're gonna give me a person. Like, I don't know. It was just like very, very, very weird. So anyway, we leave the hospital. I have my first like complete breakdown in Wegmans parking lot, and I jump out the car and I leave Houston in the car, and I just didn't know how to handle it. It's not that I didn't like him or love him. I was just scared, and I don't know, I can't explain it. So, for the first couple weeks, I was just like, I didn't even want to post pictures about him. I didn't want to talk to people about him. But what I did, I act like I was so in love, and I was just like so happy, but I wasn't. Like, I don't know. Like, it just wasn't a feeling I thought I would have, because I've always wanted a kid, and I don't know. I was very, very, very depressed. So one of the nurses from the hospital called, and she was just like, "How was I doing?" And I just kind of broke down crying, and I was just telling her like, I'm having a tough time. And she was like, "Oh, that's probably baby blues." So I was like, "Oh, that's what that is? Okay." So when she told me some things I should try and different things like that, make sure I take my medicine, and I told her okay. So so I started watching like YouTube videos and YouTube things about women who have gone through it, and it was some, but it wasn't a lot. And I just felt like there wasn't a lot of support, but I knew that there was this thing called baby blues. So when people would start asking me how I was doing and how the baby was, from that point on, I would just say like, "Oh, the baby's good. I've been dealing with a little bit of baby blues, but you know, it'll pass," that sort of thing. So I had this one friend who texted me, and she asked me how I was doing, and she kept offering to come over, and I was just like not wanting to deal with people, and she was very persistent about wanting to come over, and I kept making excuses and saying certain things, and I didn't feel like cleaning up the house. I didn't feel like making sure I was put together. So I just kept making excuses, and then I just like broke down and I told her like, "Listen, I've been dealing with this. I've had baby blues." And she was like, "Girl, this is what I did, and I had it so bad, and I didn't have nobody to talk to. She was like, "So I went and seen a therapist." And I was like, "Oh, really? Can I be a therapist's name?" So she gave me her therapist's name, and I went and seen her therapist. And her therapist, when I got there and I told her who recommended me, she was like, "Oh, I kind of figured you were going to say that." And she was like, not to say there's not a lot of people who seek help for that in your community, and like African American people, but she's like, it kind of makes sense. So I was like, "Oh, I can understand that." So I had another friend who texted me, was asking me how I was doing, and I spewed out the same thing, "I'm doing okay, baby's okay. I think I just have a little bit of that baby blues." She's like, "I'm gonna text my sister and have my sister text her." So her sister texted me, and her sister was like, "Girl, I had it really bad." She was like, "I even signed papers for adoption for my baby." She was like, "It's hard. Like, people don't understand it, and they don't talk about it. Nobody knows I was going through that." But she was like, "I did not want him." And I was like, it was reassuring, even though, I was seeing like people were really literally did not want their kids. It was reassuring that I wasn't the only one who was going through that, and I was normal. And that's what I got from, talking about it with people, and from just like going to a therapist. Like, these things are normal. Your body is changing. You're going through all these hormones and these chromosomes, and everything is shifting in your body, and it's normal to go through these things. And you have to reach out to people and get that support. And I'm grateful that I got to the point where I didn't care who knew, because I felt like that was when I was able to see a change. Now, I'm not completely like, oh my goodness, I don't deal with depression anymore, because I still take my antidepressant and I still deal with anxiety, and I still go up to Houston while he's asleep and make sure he's breathing. And sometimes if I don't feel him breathing, I'll shake him and make sure he's awake. Make sure he's awake. But I just feel like I'm something I'm gonna deal with, and it's probably first time baby stuff too, because it's like my second one, I'll probably be like, he fine, or she fine. But I just wish that it wasn't such a taboo in my community to talk about these things and get the support. There's so many people who go through miscarriages, and ever since I've had my miscarriage, and ever since I've had postpartum, I've met so many people who can relate to my story. And even when I put it out on Facebook, when we decided to finally tell people, I got so many inboxes for people saying like, I'm so glad that you finally get your rainbow baby. I can't wait. I hope your testimony ends up being my testimony. And these are things people don't talk about. And I just really want to create a place for people to be able to voice their testimonies, voice their trials, give advice, give some resources. And I am working on merchandise too. Like, those can be talking points. If you see a woman with a I'm 1 in 4 on her shirt or a pin, that's a talking point, and you can see if she's gone through it right now, if she's still trying to make it through it. You can be her support system. Just like there's support for everything else, there has to be a support for her, and we have to take mental health seriously, because if a mom or a dad does not take care of themselves, there's no way that they can effectively take care of their baby. And that's why in October, which is the awareness month for stillborn, miscarriage, and infertility, I'm going to launch my website and my forum to give moms who are like me and who are going through their storm still a place to be able to connect and to feel normal and to know that there is a rainbow after the storm. See you guys next time. The Lord is good. Everybody sing it now, yeah. Oh, it never runs out. For the Lord is good forever. Oh, you are good, yeah. It's what His word says, yes, and it's what my faith says.